Hello everyone, today we are talking about Quant QNT, and today we are dismissing the FUD and the misinformation when it comes to QNT, because believe me, there is a lot I need to go over. Similar to the video that I made 2 days ago with XRP, where the main FUD I see is to do with the private ledger and the public ledger and XRP ledger being centralized. It is false. There is a lot of FUD on Quant, mainly on TikTok. On YouTube, you have to search for a video or you have to click on a video on your home feed. It's your choice to watch a video. But when it comes to TikTok, you get thrown videos that you usually would not watch. And a lot of them are fudders when it comes to QNT, probably Bitcoin maxis. A lot of stuff to go over, a lot of value. Stay around to the end of the video. And without further ado, here we go. Okay, so the first one we have here is that the QNT token is not needed. There is two parts to this. Firstly, realizing the QNT powers Overledger, Gilbert Verdin has literally stated that he'd like anyone to show in code with a transaction number for any Overledger transaction that they've somehow sent on mainnet without QNT. That information goes hand in hand with the QNT usage. You have to pay license fees in QNT. You have to pay transaction fees in QNT. Customers and developers pay for the licenses and transaction fees in QNT. And enterprises can actually pay in pounds, and Quant will handle their QNT. And enterprises are actually not affected by the token price volatility because the fees are stable to fiat. I'm referring to enterprise clients. Now on to the second one. ERC20 token is actually true, but it's the way that it's said. Same with not even a blockchain and negative connotations, right? So just an ERC20 token, or I don't invest in ERC20 tokens. Firstly, realizing QNT is blockchain agnostic. If something were to happen to Ethereum, for example, it could easily migrate chain. And it's only ERC20 token at the time making this video because Ethereum is the most popular chain. And if it were to migrate to a chain tomorrow, the Overledger would still work. Quant can migrate any ERC20 project to any other chain, and they can migrate ERC20 tokens to QRC20 to be compatible with MDLTs. Also, number two is not even a blockchain. This is true, but it's said also in negative light. When you think about other blockchain interoperability projects, Quant is not competing with those projects. They're building a blockchain layer on top of other blockchains. Quant is creating a universal way of doing interoperability, right? An operating system. This is the way forward, connecting, arbitraging, acting as a mediator. If you think about the largest taxi company in the world, Uber, they own no vehicles. If you think about one of the largest accommodation providers, if not the largest, Airbnb, they own no real estate. This is the way forward. They are connecting existing and future blockchains with interoperability, permissioned and both permissionless. Also with the ERC20, I forgot to include this picture from Gilbert Verdin himself explaining the whole process. Pause the video, take a screenshot if you need. Now going down to supply. There's a lot of things when it comes to supply, especially Etherscan, but firstly, a lot of people say there's inflation. There is zero inflation, and 100% of supply is circulating, except obviously when it comes to utility lockups. And lastly, before we go on to honorable mentions, this is the last one, Etherscan. Now, I wouldn't say this is FUD, this is actually genuine misinformation. If you go onto Etherscan right now and you've never done too much research with Quant, and this is the first thing that you see, is 45.4 max total supply, you probably question why the way that is, right? So here we have the whole explanation. I will leave this down below for you guys to check out, but we can see. So how many tokens were burned, you can see there. The updated supply, which is the one we know today. So why is it still showing a high number of the total supply? Let me read here. So we have contacted Etherscan and informed them that their total supply reflects the theoretical supply directly from the smart contract, i.e. the absolute maximum number of tokens we could have created versus what we actually did and what was burned. Unfortunately, this is hardwired in Etherscan, and they won't be able to change the total, but they have agreed to add a message to our token page to reflect the totals above. And going into the burn, all that stuff, I will leave it down below. And also, just tech guys provide some screenshots here that go more into detail with Gilbert Verdin about the whole situation, about the whole scenario. I will leave this tweet down below as well. Now we are on to the honorable mentions. People say that QNT is not ISO 2022 compatible. Well, firstly, a coin cannot be ISO 2022 compatible, but the Overledger is ISO 2022 compatible, and ISO 2022 is incorporated in the blockchain and ISO standards, and Gilbert is a part which he founded of, founding ISO TC307 referring to blockchain DLT, and ISO 2022 referring to financial data. I think Gilbert Verdian, the man who founded ISO TC307, wouldn't have quant, from the ground up in alignment with standards is ridiculous in my opinion. I trust his judgment, I trust his belief. People can also say naturally that QNT could be a security, which is a pretty normal concern. Anything could be a security at this point in the eyes of the SEC, but their ICO was exempt from all US participants, so in my eyes, I can't really see it, but the SEC has overstepped their grounds. They've literally deemed LCX a security, one of the most regulated exchanges, if not the most, especially when it comes to their token. Makes zero sense, to be honest. Whatever the SEC says doesn't really matter to me, right? Also, number 2, centralized. Well, yes, Quant, the company, is centralized, but the Overledger isn't. It is open to the public, and the network is going to be decentralized with gateways. The last one is too expensive. This one makes zero sense. I've seen it on the opposite spectrum. For example, projects like LCX and XDC, right? They're in the lower cent range. Some people determine the actual price of the value of the asset, so they think those assets are not valuable because they're so dirt cheap. Zero cents. Also, when it comes to QNT, right? Some people might only have $300 to invest in cryptocurrency, and they think they can't get much QNT, so they're not going to become rich off these assets, right? And they're going to buy some crappy coin with crap tokenomics. They're going to get 1 billion tokens and think if it can get to $1, they'll become a multi-millionaire, which is just not going to happen. You have to focus on the supply and the actual markets they're facilitating. That is pretty much it for today's video. Let me know down below, is there any other honorable mentions that you could mention to me that you see FUD with QNT that you always think, this is wrong, I need to correct this? And is there any actual other projects that get a lot of FUD that you'd like me to debunk and dismiss? I've sort of created this video for myself because I get these comments all the time and I cannot be bothered typing the explanation over and over again. So I'm just going to point into this video so they can actually realize the truth when it comes to these assets, right? So that's pretty much it for today's video. If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like down below and I will see you guys in the next one.